Welcome to the holidays and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Betsy of Betsy's Best, and it's the 12 days of Christmas with Betsy's Best. We're back in my kitchen again, and I have a great creative recipe for you. When I think of Christmas, I always think of the smell of gingerbread, one of my favorite flavors with that wonderful cinnamon spice. Today, we're going to provide you with a recipe for breakfast. It's a baked oatmeal with a gingerbread nut butter topping. It's simply delicious, it's warm and soothing for the soul, so let's get started. So all you're going to do is we're going to start with the baked oatmeal first. So in your bowl, you're going to add a half a cup of oats. You're then going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. You then add a half of a teaspoon of cinnamon spice, a pinch of Himalayan sea salt. You're going to add a 1/4 cup of applesauce, along with a 1/4 cup of milk of your choice. It could be an almond milk, a coconut milk, or regular cow's milk. You're going to add a pinch of a sweetener. Now I use a organic stevia. It has a vanilla flavor to it. You could also add maple syrup, honey, or you could skip the sweetener altogether. And then the best ingredient right here, it's our Betsy's Best Gourmet Almond Butter. It already has cinnamon and pink Himalayan salt in it, some wonderful spice and flavoring. It's really what's going to add to this recipe. Then you're just going to stir these ingredients together. You're going to have some ramekins already sprayed with cooking spray so that you can place this inside. Now, of course, if you have company coming over and you're doing this as a breakfast brunch for during the holiday season, you can double, triple this recipe. This pretty much makes about 1 or 2 servings, just depending how big your little bowls are. So I went ahead and sprayed these ahead of time so they won't stick. So we're just going to put the baked oatmeal, or the oatmeal before it's baked, right into the bowl. And we're going to preheat that oven to 375 degrees. And we're just going to place this into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. And while we do that, we're going to make the butter topping for it. So while our oatmeal is baking, we're going to go ahead and make the gingerbread topping. So we're going to start with our Betsy's Best Gourmet Peanut Butter. You could also swap out the almond butter or the sunflower seed butter for this, or even the cardamom butter would be nice too, because the cardamom is kind of a holiday spice. But we're going to do 3 tablespoons of the Gourmet Betsy's Best Peanut Butter. We're then going to add that wonderful blackstrap molasses. This gives that fantastic gingerbread flavor to it. So we're going to go ahead and put 3/4 of a teaspoon in there with the 3 tablespoons of the Betsy's Best. And now we're just going to spice some additional spices into it. So we're going to do a little bit of a nutmeg and just a pinch, or if you like a little bit more, you may. And then we're going to add ginger. And that's it. Those ingredients we're just going to whip into a bowl. And you could use this as not only a topping for that oatmeal, but this could be any sort of topping. Could be on toast. You could drizzle it over pancakes in the morning or waffles for that holiday gingerbread feel. Or if you even wanted to add maybe a little bit more of the spice to kind of thicken it, or you could even add a little bit of flour to it, or an almond meal flour, you could turn these into little protein balls. You can even add protein powder to it, and it would be kind of a nice little fantastic ball that you could dip in some like cocoa powder and make into a little truffle. So now we have our topping, and if we want to thin this out a little bit, you could add some coconut oil to it to make it a little bit more like a drizzle, but we're going to leave it just like this because we're going to put it on top of that oatmeal and then bake it for another 3 minutes on broil at a high temperature to really infuse those flavors into our baked oatmeal. So I've just removed these from the oven. Now we're going to add our topping on top, maybe about a tablespoon of your gingerbread butter. And you're just going to put a thin layer on top, spreading it around. And then we're going to turn the oven up to broil. And we're going to put this in just for a tad, just to kind of warm the top of it and let the flavors kind of infuse into the oatmeal. So maybe a minute, possibly 2 minutes. Just really watch it because you don't want to burn the top of this. So our baked oatmeal is now finished, and if you want to garnish it before serving, you may take a gingerbread cookie on top and add a little bit of Cool Whip for beautiful presentation. You may also take this out of the ramekins and just place it on a plate if you prefer to serve it like that. Either way, it's a delicious, healthy breakfast. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a happy and healthy holiday.